Hi, everyone. Welcome back to CircuitCast with AI Connects and our hospitality episode series. Today, my guest is Trinity Madison. Trinity is the founder of Camp Laughing Grass. She's a pioneer in cannabis-friendly hospitality, redefining safe, intentional, and community-driven travel. With nearly 2 decades in cannabis hospitality and tourism, Trinity has built scalable retreat experiences in both the US and in Jamaica. She's an industry advocate and shares her experience advising other entrepreneurs entering this emerging market. She's a sought after speaker known for turning unconventional ideas into compliant, revenue generating destinations that balance freedom, culture, and world class business execution. Trinity, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you
It's a
so
pleasure
much
to
for
have you.
having me. Thank you.
Trinity, I'm sure that at some point you didn't start out knowing this was where you were going to be. Tell us a little bit about the journey of how you came to be, an entrepreneur leading the charge in, cannabis culture.
I love travel. I love to travel. And if I'm traveling, I want to relax in a way that's comfortable for me. And that usually means cannabis. That always means cannabis. And I wasn't finding the places that were providing that for me. A escape where that was not just frowned upon, but often, illegal or not even allowed in some places. So I created the place that is.
So how long ago did you start? You've been a couple of decades, but tell us a little bit about, what was different maybe say 10 years ago than it is today.
Well, today it is more accepted. We have 40 states that have some sort of cannabis recreational or medical laws. So people are realizing that it's not the stigma that it's been cast out to be for decades now. A lot of people are choosing cannabis over alcohol, and providing those spaces where we can use that socially has become really, really important to people.
So looking at it from a sort of tourism and hospitality perspective, what's different about, sort of a safe space for cannabis enjoyment and a retreat like what you're building compared to a more traditional space?
Honestly, there's really not a difference. It's depending on what type of experience you're looking for. The only difference, instead of the bar being alcohol, the bar is cannabis. That's the huge difference people are really looking for.
Maybe share a little bit about the obstacles and barriers that you've overcome over the years working in this space.
So, because it is still federally legal, we are still looking at issues with banking and other sort of, you need permission from your towns. You have to make sure that what you're providing, if you're providing anything, is going to be legal. There are sort of loopholes that I have used in the past to create cannabis-friendly spaces. Using private property is a big one for anyone in this industry, because that creates the skipping over the license to have a lounge or an quote unquote consumption area. Once you're on private property, you're allowed to kind of consume freely. So we use that to circumvent the laws until the laws do catch up with us, which they're starting to. Many states are passing social consumption and lounge lodges, which is great. What we're really looking for as a community.
So, so you've got these constraints that are there for, reasons that are historical primarily.
Correct.
But on top of that, you're running what is essentially a hospitality business. So
Correct.
tell us a little bit about, what the day-to-day of running your hospitality business is like.
So we are really cannabis themed. Mornings are wake and bakes. We provide a continental breakfast. We have lots of paraphernalia on site, bungs, bowls, grinders, and then we have like the more fancy stuff, the volcano, which is an electric. It blows up a bag so you can vaporize your weed, and we have gravity bongs and bongs everywhere. We provide a 420 activity, so every day at 420 we have interactive activities for our guests. So there's a lot of community involvement, interactive involvement, which people are really, really responding to.
That's interesting. And so do you house cannabis and sell it yourselves as part of
We
the
don't.
part of the offering, or people bring their own?
We are a BYOB. We are a bring your own bud a facility. Depending on what state you're in, as whether or not you can serve it or not. We don't have any lounge laws in Maine, so we do not have any licensing to be able to serve it. So we operate as a BYOB.
Okay, that's a good detail for people to be aware of.
Yeah.
And are you seeing, do you see sort of the day-to-day business growing? Is it sort of static? Tell us a little bit about that.
No, it's constantly growing. Each year, I'm putting a little bit more into the property so we can grow. We're looking at creating an entertainment space. So Corporate events, weddings, stuff like that can also happen on property. It's a huge ask we're getting from people. We're constantly getting RVers asking us to expand, which takes on a whole lot more than what our small campground offers right now. So there's a lot of necessity out there that right now my camp cannot provide that anyone else could jump in and provide that for people. There's a
Yeah, so
lot of growth right now.
tell us a little bit about the campground as it is. What sorts of facilities do you have available? What types of, are people coming in tents or RVs, or give us a little
So
more
no
flavor
RVs,
there?
we don't have those sites, but we do have cabins, we have glamping sites, and then we have your traditional tent sites. I'm small. I have 13 sites. We have a newly built A-frame, very nice private deck. The sidewall opens. It's very very wooded, and we're also on Crooked River, so we have access to kayaking, canoeing, floating, fishing, stuff like that.
That sounds lovely. I
It's
think I might have to
really
come.
nice. The property is really nice.
Trinity, I mentioned in your bio you're doing some speaking work. Can you tell us a little bit about the speaking engagements that you've had and the topics that you've been covering?
So the topics have been cannabis tourism, how to break into the industry, the legal aspects that people should be looking for in order to move into this industry. Lectures have been both through cannabis conventions and colleges that are now starting to offer cannabis curriculum.
That's interesting, that last one in particular, right?
Yeah.
So, when you think about your business, and obviously the fact that it's a cannabis business and comes with some baggage, but beyond that, what do you think are the biggest challenges to your business?
I think the biggest challenges are the government. As we move into changing this federally, it opens up banking for us, it opens up business loans for us, it opens up real world possibilities for tourism to grow because that's really what we're held back right now. My business does phenomenal. If I was to walk into a bank in any other industry and say, I'm looking for a loan, I'd like to expand, they would look at me and go, how much money would you like? But because we are cannabis, banks are very rare to touch us. When you go private, it's a big percentage. Wow. So there's obstacles when it's cannabis. You gotta love the industry to be in it.
Right. So I guess what I read and the undercurrent there is, really access and management of capital and working capital is probably one of the biggest challenges because of the constraints.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, if you had, if you had a magic wand and it was only good for one use, and you were to wave it over your business or your industry, what would be the one thing that you would change?
Uh, Normalizing it.
Hmm.
That's the big alcohol is so prevalent. It's so prevalent. It's so accepted. Why is weed not? I don't understand that. I don't really enjoy alcohol. If I do get a buzz from it, I'm usually sick the next day. I just want to be able to smoke a joint, do a dab, eat an edible. I want to walk into a restaurant that's going to serve me cannabis food instead of, I want a beverage that has cannabis in it, not alcohol. I just want to normalize it. That and no roadkill. I want two things.
Those are good insights, I do agree with you. I think it wasn't very long ago, really, when alcohol was banned, right? And so it's come a long way and had a long journey, and there's a lot of parallels to be seen there. So I think that's interesting. When you think about your business and operating it, how do you promote your business? How do people find you? What tools do you use?
I have used social media. I have just used social media. We have been fortunate enough because we're really one of the first ones to do what we're doing. People are paying attention. So cannabis magazines call us up. Podcasters are calling us up. People are interested in what we're doing. And we've rid that ride for a while. I don't know what words those were, but we'll just pretend those were words. But it's been mostly social media for us.
Right, and earned media, I guess, right? Because
Yeah.
people are interested. Yeah,
Mhm.
interesting. Yeah. So when knowing what you know about how, the journey has been, when you look forward over the next 2, 3, 5 years, what do you think is going to happen for your business and for the industry in general?
The industry is exploding. People are looking for cannabis-themed events, and people that are providing them are doing well. I think as the federal regulations ease, and if we do happen to manage to move into a Schedule 3, I think we'll see a lot more of the industry spreading out into the tourism and the hospitality, because that's the piece that's missing. Dispensaries are everywhere. Lounges are starting to pop up. Where's the vacation place? Where's the place I can go to and relax and spend my time as I'm traveling? And I think those are the places that we'll see more and more.
So we all hope that's going to happen. When you think about an entrepreneur who's considering doing that, what are your words of advice to get them started?
Look at the laws and where you want to be, and what models will work there. I mean, that's the start. Where do you want to go? What kind of model do you want? And then work within the laws.
Okay. And then if you had to give them a one, don't do this, what would that be?
No, we don't do that here. Do it. Find a way. Find a way and do it. There's a loophole everywhere. Just find a legal way to get it done.
Great. That's
Yeah.
all great
Yeah.
advice. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm not the whole don't do that thing. No, that doesn't sound like me.
Well, I mean, I was going more for, if there's a pitfall to avoid, what should they avoid
Yeah, I
on
mean,
their journey to being successful?
that any sort of business question that could relate to, but when it comes to, for me, cannabis, pushing the envelope is what's getting you noticed.
Okay. Would
So
it be
don't be
safe to
afraid to be
say,
noticed.
too, remember that you're actually running a business?
I mean, I think that's said without being said. You're a business owner. This is your money. You don't want to do something that's beyond risk.
Right.
Putting that little bit of risk out there for a return in my opinion, is always worth it. You never risk everything, but you always risk something.
Right. Right. Great. So, when I'm thinking about, your journey, your place, where exactly are you?
We're in Harrison, Maine. We're the Long Lakes region, or the Lakes region of Maine.
And when are you open? What's your season?
We're a summer season, so we run June, July, and a little bit of September.
So from what, Memorial Day, or is that too early?
We open the weekend after Memorial Weekend, so we do the last week in May, all of June, all of July, all of August, and then a little bit of September. I think we do the
And
first 2 weeks in September.
do you have a booking system? Or people, with
Yeah, you go
people
right to the
pre-booking?
website. Oh yeah, book
Yeah. And
now. We fill up quick.
what's the URL?
Camplaughinggrass.com.
Camplaughinggrass.com. That's terrific. And do people phone you as well and make reservations that way?
The people phone in, but we don't take reservations over the phone because, again, we're cannabis, so you can't sign on and just swipe your credit card. You have to go through PayPal. I cannot. WooCommerce doesn't work with us. Stripe doesn't work with us. So again, we're finding the loopholes and the legal ways for us to operate legally. PayPal has done many, where they look through my business extensively to make sure that we aren't actually selling cannabis. So they approve us selling online. So you have to sign on to PayPal and pay for your site through that.
Yeah, it's good for people to know, right? That the way to do it is to book online, and that
Yeah.
you could phone and ask questions.
You can phone
But
and ask
if you want
questions.
to book,
I will
go
walk you
online.
through booking, but we aren't able to do the bookings ourselves. Yeah. We
That's
have
great info.
spoken to some credit card companies or hosting companies or however that's said, that are telling me that they're going to host us. So we'll see if this coming summer we actually are able to swipe credit cards.
So Trinity, how many places like yours are you aware of? How many others are in your community?
In my community, there is one other High Branch Ranch, which is north of us. I think she's a few hours. They're smaller. I don't know if she has as many facilities as we do. I think she's just like a couple RV sites and one or two tent sites. I heard she may have built a cabin recently. I'm sorry, Rachel, I don't know more about your property, but there is another place. There's one in Illinois, Wanatoka, I think it's called. And then there is Hippie Trail in Virginia. Now, none of them are operating like we're operating, as far as the communal gatherings and the 420 gatherings. We have sponsorships with local dispensaries that supply us with samples, which is super cool. So people get to sample certain products. Again, great loophole. We are not providing any products, and now the dispensary gets their name out there to all of our guests. So it's a really great sort of way for guests to supply samples and us to stay legally compliant.
Right. So it's a pretty small, community of people doing this sort of thing. And as you say, lots of room for growth, right? Lots
Lots
of
of room
room
for
for new
growth.
people to enter.
Every time we have
That's
something that goes viral on social media, the big comments are, why aren't you in New Mexico? Why aren't you in California? Why aren't you in Oregon? Why aren't you in Colorado? And I agree with them. Why aren't we?
So Trinity, what's your social media handles? Where do we find you on social media?
Camp Laughinggrass. Camp Laughinggrass, everything. We're on all of it. Yeah.
It's been terrific having you. It sounds like
Thank
you've
you.
worked really hard to overcome some barriers and to find ways of being intrepid and making your business work
And being
within those
successful.
constraints.
Yeah, being
Yeah,
very
yeah.
successful.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
It was a pleasure having you today, and hopefully we'll talk again and maybe check
I'd
in and
like
see how
that.
things are going a year or so from now.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yes. Thanks so much.
Thank you.